6 signs you're dealing with an evil person. Have you ever felt that eerie sense of something just not right about a person? Maybe they seem charming at first, but then over time you start noticing the cracks, little things that make you wonder, is this person genuinely good, or is there something much darker underneath? Maybe they're always playing mind games, twisting your words, or worse, making you feel like you're the crazy one. You know that feeling, when your gut is screaming that something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. But here's the thing. When you're dealing with someone who's evil, yes, I said it, it's not always as obvious as you might think. In fact, they often hide behind a mask of charm, manipulation, or even victimhood. And if you're not careful, they can slowly start to control your reality, your emotions, your life. So how do you spot these people before it's too late? Today, we're going to talk about the 6 signs that you might be dealing with someone who's not just toxic, but evil. Someone who's capable of hurting you in ways you might not even realize at first. It's time to stop ignoring those red flags. It's time to protect yourself. Let's dive in. 1. Lack of empathy and compassion. When you think of the word evil, you probably imagine someone who deliberately causes harm. But let me tell you, it's often the subtle signs that are the most dangerous, and one of the biggest red flags is a person's total lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, to step into someone else's shoes and feel what they're feeling. It's what makes us human, and it's the glue that holds healthy relationships together. But someone who lacks empathy, they simply don't care about how their actions affect you. They can stand there, watching you struggle, and feel absolutely nothing. It's like you're just a character in a story for them, not a real person with real emotions. Signs to watch for: they ignore your pain. You might open up to them about something serious that's going on in your life, and instead of offering support or even listening, they either change the subject or make it all about them. It's like your feelings don't matter at all. They mock or belittle your emotions. Ever had someone laugh off your feelings or tell you you're being too sensitive? That's a classic sign of someone who doesn't understand or doesn't care about what you're going through. They don't celebrate your wins. When something great happens to you, they don't share your joy. Instead, they either ignore it or act like it's no big deal. They have no capacity to feel happy for you because their world revolves around them. I've seen this play out in relationships, where someone constantly shuts down their partner's emotions, refusing to even acknowledge their feelings. It's not just cold, it's cruel. And when this kind of behavior is repeated over time, it leaves scars. You start doubting your own worth, and that's exactly what they want. Takeaway: if someone can't feel for you, if they seem indifferent when you're struggling or celebrating, it's a huge red flag. Relationships should be built on empathy. Without it, there's no trust, no connection, no real bond. 2. Manipulation and gaslighting. Let's talk about manipulation. It's a tool that many evil people use to control the narrative, bend your will, and ultimately make you question your own reality. You've probably heard of gaslighting, and unfortunately, it's one of the most insidious tactics used by people who want to manipulate you. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where the person twists your perception of reality, making you doubt your own experiences, memories, or sanity. It's not just about lying, it's about warping the truth until you're no longer sure what's real and what's not. Signs to watch for: they make you question your own reality. You might remember something happening a certain way, but they'll insist you're wrong, no matter how confident you are in your memory. Over time, you start doubting your own recollection of events. They twist your words. Every conversation with them seems to end with you apologizing or feeling guilty. They'll pick apart what you say, take it out of context, and make it sound like you're the one causing the problem. They deflect blame. Whenever something goes wrong, it's always your fault. They never take responsibility for their actions, even when it's crystal clear that they were in the wrong. I once knew someone who would constantly tell me things like, "That's not what I said," or "You're overreacting," when I'd bring up something that hurt me. It would make me second-guess myself, and eventually, I started questioning if I was truly remembering things correctly. That's the power of gaslighting. It leaves you doubting yourself. Takeaway: trust your gut. If someone is making you feel like you're constantly in the wrong, questioning your own memories, or making you feel like you're losing your mind, they're likely manipulating you. This is toxic behavior at its core, and it's essential to recognize it early before it erodes your self-confidence. Both of these signs, lack of empathy and manipulation, are tactics that evil people use to dominate and destabilize your sense of self. Once they've convinced you that your reality is unreliable, they can control you more easily. And trust me, it can be difficult to break free from this cycle because it happens so slowly, so insidiously, that by the time you realize it's happening, you may feel like you're too far gone to get out. But here's the good news. Recognizing these signs is the first step in reclaiming your power. You don't have to accept this kind of treatment, and once you know the signs, you can start protecting yourself from further harm. 3. Narcissism and extreme self-centeredness. When you're dealing with an evil person, you'll often find that they have an overwhelming sense of self-importance. They view the world through a lens that revolves entirely around them. This is narcissism, an inflated sense of their own value, coupled with a total lack of regard for anyone else's feelings, needs, or rights. While narcissism isn't always synonymous with evil, when combined with a few other toxic traits, it can definitely become dangerous. An evil narcissist thrives on admiration and control. They can't stand being seen as anything less than perfect, and they'll go to great lengths to ensure they maintain their illusion of superiority. Signs to watch for: they always make it about them. Ever have a conversation where you're trying to share something important to you, but somehow they always steer it back to themselves? It's like they can't handle anyone else being the center of attention, even for a moment. They don't take responsibility. No matter how bad things get, they never admit fault. If something goes wrong, it's always someone else's problem. They'll deflect, deny, or manipulate the situation so that the blame is never on them. They feel entitled to special treatment. Narcissists believe they deserve the best of everything, and they often expect it without ever earning it. They might ask for favors, attention, or resources, but never offer anything in return. They treat others like pawns in their personal game. I had a friend once who would always talk about how amazing they were, how much better they were at their job, how much more successful they were than anyone else. But if something went wrong in their life, no matter how big or small, suddenly they would make it all about how hard life was for them. There was no room for empathy, no space to acknowledge the challenges others faced. It was exhausting. Takeaway: narcissism can make someone incredibly charming and even magnetic, but it also makes them dangerous. If someone can't handle not being the center of attention, constantly turns the spotlight back on themselves, or never takes responsibility for their mistakes, it's a sign of a deeper, more harmful issue. Remember, a healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, not one person constantly taking the stage. 4. A pattern of cruelty and hurtful behavior. Let's get into something that hits hard: cruelty. It's not always about the grand gestures of evil. Often it's the small, seemingly insignificant actions that chip away at your spirit over time. An evil person enjoys hurting others, whether it's through words, actions, or even just their sheer indifference. It might not be blatant violence, but it can be equally damaging on a psychological level. Cruelty comes in many forms. Sometimes it's disguised as humor or just a joke, but when you look deeper, you realize it's nothing but an attempt to put others down to lift themselves up. Signs to watch for: they put others down to feel better. Ever had someone make a cutting remark or joke about your appearance, your intelligence, or your choices? A cruel person might claim they're just teasing, but the goal is to make you feel small, inferior, or worthless. They enjoy seeing others suffer. When something goes wrong for someone else, an evil person might show a disturbing sense of glee. They might even poke fun at someone's failure or bad luck, secretly enjoying their misfortune. They have a pattern of belittling others. In public or private, they make others feel bad about themselves, often subtly or underhandedly. They might belittle your dreams, your achievements, or your very existence, making you feel like you're never good enough. I once had a person in my life who would regularly make fun of people in their social circle, especially when they weren't around to defend themselves. It wasn't just the random dig here and there. It was systematic. They would tear people down in front of others, and it was clear that the more they could humiliate someone, the better they felt about themselves. Takeaway: cruelty isn't always loud or overt. Sometimes it's the subtle ways people cut you down, whether it's passive-aggressive comments or mocking your struggles. If you notice a person consistently making others feel less than they are, especially when they think no one is looking, that's a huge red flag. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not drag you down. 5. Exploiting others for personal gain. One of the clearest signs that you're dealing with an evil person is their ability to use others for their own benefit. This might look like someone who seems friendly at first, but the moment you've helped them out, they disappear, or they might constantly ask for favors without ever offering anything in return. The key here is that they take without giving. They view relationships as transactional and are always on the lookout for opportunities to take advantage of someone else's kindness or resources. What makes this so insidious is that these people rarely show their true intentions up front. They may be charming, warm, and appear to be genuinely caring, until they need something from you. Signs to watch for: they only reach out when they need something. Have you ever noticed that the only time someone contacts you is when they need a favor? They don't check in to see how you're doing, but the minute they need help with something, they act like you're their best friend. They take without giving. This might seem subtle at first. They might ask for help with a small task, but over time, the requests become bigger and more frequent. And each time you help, they never return the favor, never offer support when you need it. They use your vulnerabilities against you. A truly evil person knows your weaknesses and uses them to manipulate you into doing what they want. They might even offer emotional support when you're at a low point, only to later turn that support into leverage for getting you to do something for them. I had someone in my life who always came to me for help when they needed something, whether it was money, advice, or even emotional support. But when I found myself in a tough situation, they were nowhere to be found. It was like I was just a tool for them to use when it was convenient, not someone they truly cared about. Takeaway: if someone only seems interested in you when they need something, and they're never there when you need them, that's not friendship. That's exploitation. True relationships are built on mutual support and respect. If you're constantly giving without receiving anything in return, it's time to step back and reconsider the dynamic. 6. Enjoyment of others' misfortune. This is the one that will send chills down your spine. When someone actively takes pleasure in seeing others suffer. It's not just that they don't care about your pain. It's that they enjoy it. There's something deeply disturbing about a person who finds joy in another person's struggles or failures. And unfortunately, this is a trait that often signals deeper, more malicious intentions. It's easy to dismiss this kind of behavior as jealousy or pettiness. But when someone consistently seems elated when things go wrong for others, it goes beyond that. It's a sign of cruelty, a sign that they want to feel superior, and your suffering gives them that satisfaction. Signs to watch for: they seem to enjoy your failures. Whenever something bad happens to you, they can't help but bring it up again and again. Instead of offering comfort or support, they might mock you or make it sound like you deserved it. They sabotage your success. Evil people may not just stand by idly when something bad happens to you. They might actively work behind the scenes to make sure you fail. They may spread rumors, undermine your confidence, or find ways to knock you down a peg. They celebrate when you're down. When things go wrong in your life, they might act as though it's the best thing that ever happened. They might even make sarcastic comments or openly show their pleasure at your misfortune. I once knew someone who, whenever I faced a setback or failure, would immediately show up with a smug grin saying things like, "I told you that was going to happen." It wasn't just about being right. It was about relishing in my pain, like it somehow validated their own sense of superiority. It was chilling to witness. Takeaway: if someone takes pleasure in your suffering, whether they openly gloat about your failures or quietly revel in your pain, it's a sign they don't care about you. In fact, they may actively want you to fail because it makes them feel better about themselves. Stay far away from people like this. They will drain your energy and your sense of self-worth. Conclusion. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the 6 signs that you might be dealing with an evil person, someone whose actions are manipulative, cruel, and often leave you questioning your own reality. It's a tough topic, and acknowledging these behaviors can be incredibly difficult because, let's face it, it's hard to accept that someone you care about, or someone you've known for a long time, might be actively causing you harm. But here's the truth. You don't have to accept this kind of treatment. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward freeing yourself from toxic, draining relationships and regaining control over your own life. It's not just about identifying evil people. It's about empowering yourself to make healthier choices. And I know that's easier said than done. You might feel conflicted about walking away from someone who's been in your life for years. Or maybe you're afraid of the consequences of confronting someone who's been controlling or manipulative. But remember, you deserve peace. You deserve respect. You deserve to feel safe and valued in every relationship you have. As much as these individuals might try to bend you to their will, it's important to know that you are stronger than you think. You have the power to choose who you surround yourself with, who you allow into your life, and who you ultimately allow to influence your thoughts and feelings. If you've already recognized these signs in someone around you, whether it's a friend, family member, coworker, or partner, take a moment to reflect on what it means for your well-being. Are they lifting you up or tearing you down? Is your connection with them based on genuine care, or are they using you for their own gain? Only you can answer those questions. Your mental and emotional health are invaluable. Don't let anyone, no matter how charming or persuasive they may seem, take that from you. Sometimes protecting yourself means setting boundaries that others might not understand or appreciate. But in the end, that's okay. Your self-respect matters far more than the comfort of others who may never truly care about your well-being. And for anyone who's currently going through this right now, feeling trapped or unsure of how to take the first step, I see you. The road ahead may feel daunting, but you don't have to walk it alone. Seek out support, whether it's from trusted friends, family, or professionals who can help you navigate this difficult process. Takeaway. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. You are not responsible for the actions of others, especially those who choose to hurt you. It's okay to walk away, to protect yourself, and to prioritize your peace. You don't owe anyone your energy or your love if they're using it to harm you. And to everyone who's been watching, thank you for being here. I hope this video has helped you gain some clarity, and I hope it empowers you to trust your instincts and make the best choices for your well-being. If you've encountered these behaviors in your life, or if you've experienced the pain of dealing with someone toxic, share your thoughts in the comments below. We can all support each other and learn from one another's experiences. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content like this. Until next time, take care of yourself. You deserve the very best.